Alrighty. So, alrighty. Hello, Professor Dr. Kurt. My name is Zach Janis. The church that I'm going to be talking to about my final project is called the Reformed Episcopal Church. So let's dive right into this. So who is the REC? So the Reformed Episcopal Church, they go by the REC for short. So I'll just let you know, when I say REC, I'm just referring to the Reformed Episcopal Church. They were founded, they were established in the early 19th century. This is primarily was a response to perceived theological shifts that were in the Episcopal Church. The REC, they sought to maintain a more orthodox and reformed understanding of Christianity while also remaining connected to the traditions of Anglicanism. So mainly they were seeing the Episcopal Church going in the wrong direction, and a couple of the bishops took a stand to form their own. So go to the next slide to their story. So it was founded in 1873 by a man named George David Cummings. He was a former Episcopal bishop. Now it was created as a response to what Cummins and others saw, that the Episcopal Church was headed towards a liberalism and a ritualism inside of the Episcopal Church. And the REC remained important part of Anglican continuum. So growing through the years, while maintaining its distinctive commitment to scripture and traditional theology, and reformed evangelical focus has been really the main focus of the REC. So a little bit about David Cummins now. He was one of the men who helped start the REC. He actually I was able to, while doing some of my research, was able to find a letter that he actually wrote to the Episcopal Church. And this is the letter. But he expressed his vision for the church's founding, and this was his letter of resignation to the Episcopal Church, saying that he was leaving and forming his own church. So he says, "I have an earnest hope and a confidence that a basis for the union of all evangelical Christendom can be found in a communion which shall retain or restore a primitive episcopacy and a pure scripture liturgy, with a fidelity to the doctrine of justification by faith only." So his main goal was to establish a church that would restore the old paths of the evangelical and Catholic Anglicanism, and really bring back to the traditional side of evangelical. So going to the creed, excuse me real quick. So the creed of the REC, it's rooted deeply into the 39 articles of religion and the Book of Common Prayer, which these two books articles and books are very, very essential to the Anglican tradition. However, the REC also emphasizes that justification by faith alone is important, and rejecting some of the more ceremonial practices of other branches of Anglicanism. So the church holds firmly to the authority of Scripture, and with a strong focus on preaching and personal conversion. So being able to focus on that's the Scripture is true. They wanted to go back that traditional route, that the Scripture is what is truth. So for organizational slide, they typically, the REC does follow a more traditional Episcopal governance, and meaning it is led by bishops, which Mr. Cummins is. The bishops have a clergy that is usually priests and deacons, and they serve the congregation. However, it is distinct from other Episcopal groups due to the fact that it's way more conservative in its approach to theology and liturgy. Like the typical Episcopal church was more on the liberal side, going towards being able to bend the word of the Bible, and they wanted to go back to more traditional. So the REC also emphasizes the role of the laity, excuse me, and they do encourage them to take an active role in the church life and governance, because when there's more people involved and active in the church life, then it's a more healthy ecosystem that seems way more friendly and more inviting. So for worship here, they use the Book of Common Prayer. Um, and they remain more with a liturgical structure to the Anglican tradition. With the Book of Common Prayer when they use that, but the REC also is known for its simplicity as well in ritual, and they focus on more of a clear and a like a reverent or more clear and reverent prayers and biblical teachings. These services often emphasize the preaching of the word with a strong evangelical flavor, and communion is typically celebrated regularly, pretty much at every single mass as well. So just to wrap this up, the REC, or the Reformed Episcopal Church, they offer a pretty unique blend of Anglican tradition along with a Reformed theology. Its emphasis on biblical authority, uh, and the emphasis on biblical authority, evangelical preaching, and a simplified liturgy. It makes it pretty distinct among other denominations in the United States, just pretty much due to the simplicity, the traditionalist values and lifestyles. So, but the ROC also continues to serve as a witness to more conservative approach to the Anglicanism in the modern world, and I think that um, this church branch is one of with my personal views as well through reading and researching. This lines up with a lot of my values and beliefs. So it really did intrigue my eye. So, and these are some of my sources as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.